What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. The swelling is gone. Finally feeling a little bit better. Still congested and stuff, but I finally feel well enough to actually do a video. This is a video that I've been excited to do. I couldn't wait to actually feel well enough to go through this and check this stuff out. I've got a little VC love train from Marty Worm. I say VC, the majority of this is CDs. There is a record that I purchased. If you follow me, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you've heard the story, I'm sure, several times of what's been going on with this package. This is an album that I ordered at the beginning of August. I ordered an LP from Marty over at Bindrune Recordings, and he shipped it out. It was probably August the 7th when he shipped it out. He shipped it from Michigan. I live in Tennessee. This package went to Pennsylvania and then disappeared for almost a solid month. It was around the middle of September. It finally jumped back on tracking, showing that it was in Texas. Then it fell off the radar again. It came in like 2 days ago. At this point, Marty had already replaced the record that was in this because we had just assumed it was lost because it was off of the radar for so long. He wouldn't let me pay for the replacement. This one came in and it is packed full of um, all kind of CDs. I opened it up just to make sure everything arrived and wasn't busted up because it had disappeared for so long. Everything looked to be in order. I did not want to go through it too much because I wanted to do an unboxing and have genuine reactions to everything that was in this. Before I get into opening that, these shirts are in, and I'm pretty pleased with them. I think they look well. I think they look pretty good. I'm working on getting the Big Cartel store set up and all that stuff. There will be an announcement as to when those go live and you can actually purchase. The sizes are limited. There's only 40 shirts total, and I'm sending some out to some people that I think deserve the shirt starting off. So it'll be even less than 40 available when they actually go up for sale. Definitely sending John from Fallen Asylum. He's the one that created the logo art for this channel, the logo art that's on the shirt. He is definitely worthy of a free shirt. I'm definitely getting him one first. There's a couple other people that are getting them. And then the rest will be up to you guys. And I will make an announcement when those go live. I've got my computer on the charger, so I apologize if there's some lag or jumps going on. It's just I finally felt well enough to do a video, and my computer was dead. But I wanted to knock this out because my son's birthday was yesterday, and been a little under the weather, so we're going to try to celebrate today as I'm feeling a little bit better today. So that being said, I'm just going to get into this. First off, I'm going to show the album that I actually ordered. Well, actually, Marty was nice enough to write me a little note. Not going to get into it too well, but a nice little letter there from Mr. Worm. He packed this up pretty good. Uh, with the extended almost 2 month postal trip that this package took, I was very surprised that nothing arrived, just too damaged. It seemed like there may be some jewel cases rattling around in there and that type stuff, but that's to be expected when you have a box. I mean, seriously, I ordered one record and look at the size of this box. I was absolutely blown away when this came in. I didn't plan very well, so I'm just going to sit this down to the side and then just lift stuff out as I go. Here's the vinyl portion of this. And this is the album that I actually ordered. Like I said, I ordered one thing, and he packed this box full of CDs for me. He said it may be a box of shit. Um, I told him if anybody's going to appreciate a box of shit, it would be me. So he sent it to the right person. The album that I ordered is the newest release from Minnesota black metalers, Canis Dirus, with Independence to the Beast. Amazing album, amazing. I'm not going to get into it just too much in this video because it will be in a 7 Deadly Spins in the very near future. I love the way Marty does these LP releases. You've got your almost bone white look on the record there, and he also throws in Download codes. It's like everything just comes flying out of this. After the trip that this thing has been on, though, I'm not too upset about that. He actually does compact disc with the records. I love that because you have people like me that tend to listen to CDs more than actual records. It's nice to have a copy of both. There's the insert. Like I said, I'm going to get into this album a little bit more in the Seven Deadly Spins video. It's just fantastic, kind of nature-driven black metal out of Minnesota, and I am stoked. I actually have a second copy now because, as I said, he was kind enough to send a replacement after I made another order. I will be probably doing a giveaway with this one. I mean, he was nice enough to me. The least I can do is kind of spread the love. So there will be a giveaway for that second copy of Canis Dirus right there. Don't know when I'm going to do it, but it should be sometime in the very near future. This thing is packed full of CDs. This is probably going to turn into a long video, so just kind of bear with me as we go. I haven't really looked through the CDs. I wanted the stuff to be kind of surprise. Obviously, a couple of them that were on top and that type stuff caught my eye when I was making sure nothing was busted. One of those being this cult classic. This is Vanity with Enslaved. If you follow my Instagram, you've probably seen me post about this album a few times. I do actually already own this. This is some amazing Greek melodeath. I think this came out around 99. It came out around the heyday for me when I was really getting into death metal. I was at that age where melodic death metal was hitting all the right places, and this album absolutely did so. I purchased a copy of this. It's been a few months ago. It kind of came back on my radar, and I remembered listening to it back in the day, and had to pick up another copy. And now I have two. I don't know this. I don't know if I'm going to give away this one or not. This may just be a spare in case I wear the other one out because it has been in heavy rotation. Amazing Greek melodeath. If you haven't heard Vanity, check out Enslaved because um, that is an amazing album. That may be their only full length. I'm not really sure. Next up, this one is awesome as well. We got Thy Flesh Consumed with Dawn of the Impurity Design. This is some death metal out of Canada. Pretty sure this is their debut full length. I own some Thy Flesh Consumed. I do not own this particular release, so it's nice to have this one in the collection now. Pretty good stuff. I don't particularly remember. This is one of the jewel cases that didn't quite make the trip unscathed. I don't particularly remember this album, but I'm looking forward to going and checking it out. I have not listened to Thy Flesh Consumed in quite a while, so this will be a good refresher for me. But I do believe that is their debut. Pretty good stuff out of Canada there. Next up, it looks like we have some more death metal. And one thing that it's becoming kind of obvious already is this is going to be some material that came out quite a while ago. Some of this stuff looks to be over 20 years old, and that's pretty awesome because a lot of times when I get these packages, especially stuff that I've been ordering lately with the Seven Deadly Spin series and all that type stuff, I've been focusing on a lot of new material. I've been overlooking a lot of stuff from the past, and this is going to be a refresher. This is going to be some stuff that I've missed back in that time period. So definitely, I'm stoked already. Three CDs in. Next up, we have Putrefactor with Symptoms of Societal Rot. This is showing that it came out in 1999. This is one I do not remember. Looks to be death metal. I know Marty knows that I like death metal, brutal death metal, and that type stuff. So some of this stuff, I'm sure he saw and he's like, yeah, that's got classy metal written all over it. So I know they kind of made fun of me a little bit. I won't say poke fun, laughed with me over that Severed Records grab bag I did. He was asking how many CDs I'd actually made it through in that and how many sounded exactly the same. I'm about 40. At this point, I'm probably about 50 CDs into that grab bag listening to stuff. There are some stuff in there that's been very repetitive. Feels like it's hard to differentiate between one album to the other, but I found some really good albums in that grab bag as well. Next up, we have Primal Dawn. I believe this is a self-titled. Looks like to be a little EP. Um, This almost looks like some black and thrash. I don't really. I remember the name Primal Dawn. I think I remember the name. It sounds vaguely familiar. It looks like this came out in 2000. So it looks like a lot of this stuff is going to be stuff that's been out for a little while, and I am perfectly fine with that. Next up, we have Near Death Experience, or NDE, with Fix. NDE is some, I believe they're kind of industrial type stuff from what I remember. There are quite a few bands that use that same moniker, NDE, so I could have them confused with someone else. Almost kind of remember them as kind of groove metal or industrial. I haven't heard any of the NDE bands in quite some time, so I easily could have them confused with another. I know at one point there were two or three distinct bands with that same name. Next up, this is wow, I'm pretty stoked to get this one. I have not uh, thought about this album and man, I can't tell you. This is Melisand. This is some Dutch death doom. Um, This is 2005. I was gonna say this has been out for a while. This is their demo album, 2005. They only released, I think, one prior little demo or EP before this, and that one was pretty good. But I remember listening to this demo. As I said, it's been forever, but it's just some Dutch death metal. It's got some super doomy influences going on through this, from what I remember. But it's probably been a good 10 years since I've listened to this album. So definitely stoked to have that one in the collection. I have not thought about that album in years. Great to have that in the collection. So thank you, Marty. Definitely stoked. I'm setting that one to the side because that probably will be one of the first I listen to out of this box. Next up, we have Bury the Pariah with Sociopathic Undergarment, the metal album. I have no idea on this one. I have no clue. I'm sorry, this video is probably going to be absurdly long because I'm rambling. I'll try to pick up the pace a little bit. Yeah, I don't know much on Bury the Pariah. That's a new one to me. I don't even know when that came out. It has that old school, old vibe going on. Next up, we have Shrine of Scars with Deathbed for a Weakening Spirit. This one seems vaguely familiar to me as well. I'm wanting to say this is some more death metal. This is also a demo. For some reason, this one is sparking some electrons or something going off in my head. I don't know. It could be the antibiotics that I'm on. Who knows? This jewel case didn't quite make the trip as well. Pretty straightforward looking demo right there. But for some reason, I'm wanting to say that's some pretty good death metal. Next up, we have Abuse with a Sunday Morning Killing Spree. Do not know that one as well. That one definitely has an old late 90s vibe going on. Looking to see if it had 1997. Yeah, I nailed that one on the head. Very campy looking stuff. It looks like it might be pretty fun. Maybe some grindy type. I'm sorry if you're getting lag. I know where I'm seeing it's recording is doing a little bit of lag, but I had to do this on the charger or the video would not record. Next up, we have Suicide Culture with Hallowed Be Thy Agony. That looks very DIY. I have not heard this band. It says on the back, it caught my eye. It has like the Maiden from the Iron Maiden logo, and it says, I don't know if you can pick that up. Well, I went to the wrong side. There we go. Up here, I know you probably can't see it, but right there, it says Maiden Canada A. So that's pretty funny. Don't know anything about Suicide Culture, but I guess I will learn something sometime in the new. I got so much stuff to listen to now. I'm still working the way through grab bags from months ago. I don't know when I'm going to find time. If each of you want to PayPal me about $1,000 a week, and then I can just quit my job and live comfortably. better than I was at my job, and then I can just listen to music all day. That would be great and much appreciated. Next up, we have Waste with Therapy. Don't know anything about this one. This looks like it. This is another one came out in 1999. So actually, I thought just from the looks that this was a bit newer, but it is not. It was on Deadeye Records. Don't know much about Deadeye Records. So another one that's new to me. I don't know if I showed the back. There we go. So that's Waste with Therapy. Man, there's so much stuff in here. We got some more Dutch metal. This is Iscariot with Horror Vacui. I do remember this album, but I do not own it. This is some more mellow death. Some pretty good Dutch mellow death. If I remember correctly, it has a lot of kind of synth and piano type stuff going on. This is another one that the jewel case didn't quite make the trip. Understandable. There's the inside of the album there. Yeah, but if I'm remembering, if this is the one I think it is, it's kind of melodic death, has some blackened hinges to it, and it's very kind of keyboard heavy, synth heavy. But I remember enjoying that quite a bit. So actually, I think I got the two Dutch metal albums sitting side by side, ready to be listened to after I record. Next up, we have Laid to Unrest with Prearranged Funeral Activity. Uh, Not familiar with this one. This came out in 2001. Almost looks to be self-released. I thought maybe that was a album, uh, a label, a record label logo right there, but it was not. It was just a track. Looks to be on a CDR. So a little demo there. I really don't know anything about Laid to Unrest. Next up, we have VU Drock with Death Riff Society. Don't know anything about this one, but anything entitled Death Riff Society warrants a play and a chance in my book. This is, I don't see looks to be German. There's a lot of German stuff written on that, so I was going to try to give a little info from the back, but unfortunately, I do not speak German. Got some more packaging stuff in here. Man, Marty, you are a madman. Cannot believe you sent me all this stuff. I am very, very appreciative. Oh man, that's a good one. Pulling stuff out, and I see this one. This is one that you wouldn't think would be black metal just by looking at the case, but this is actually a pretty good slab of Norwegian black metal. This is Emancer with the Human Experiment. Pretty good traditional black metal, traditional Norwegian black metal. I know this one has been out a while, probably 2001, 2000. I don't see a date on the back, but it is from that same time period that a lot of the stuff that is in this box. This is pretty. I really enjoyed this album for what I remember. This is actually the first Emancer that I'm going to have in my collection now, so I'm stoked about that. I found this a lot. I mean, when I was heavy in like that Demu board gear early on, getting into that kind of black metal Cradle of Filth and that type stuff, I remember having this one recommended to me. Sorry about dropping it there. And I listened to it and I enjoyed it. I just never picked up any material and I just kind of forgot. So stoked to have some Emancer. Next up, we got another copy of Suicide Culture, Hallowed Be Thy Agony, made in Canada. I don't know. He must have had a ton of these that he just wanted to get rid of. That's not boding well for what I think it's going to sound like. So we have some more Suicide Culture. At least this is a different release. This looks to be a self-titled. I don't know anything about Suicide Culture, so I can't give you any info as to what they may sound like. Next up, we have Furia with Un lac de larmes et du sang. It looks to be a French title. Maybe this is a Canadian band. Not sure. Has almost a proggy look or a power metal look going on here, but I really don't know anything about this one either. So as I open it up, it definitely gives me that proggy or power metal vibe just from the look of the disc. As I said, I really don't know. So we'll find out when we listen. Next up, we have a Magica with My Bloodied Wings. I'm thinking this is kind of thrashy type stuff. This came out on Crash Music 2006. I do seem to, there's a part of me that seems to remember this album as well. I want to say it's kind of thrashy, thrashy powery type stuff, but I could be wrong. I mean, I've listened to so much stuff, man. I don't know. After a while, I just go blank and things start running together, and I really don't. I can't remember right. Next up, we have a Rebreather with Need Another 7 Astronauts. Oh man, this came out in 2002. Rebreather. If this is the same band I'm thinking of, I believe they're kind of sludgy type stuff. Ooh, we got some space boobies in there. That's always a plus. Well, there goes the demonetized for this video, but I lost my train. Man, I'm a typical man. I see some boobs and lose my whole train of thought. But Rebreather. I don't know where I was going with that. Next up, we have Materia Prima with Relic Radiation. Know absolutely nothing about this one. I don't even know what that is on the front. I don't know if that's supposed to be electrodes. I don't know if that's supposed to be intestines. Not sure what's going on this one. Came out in 2006. This may be a demo and stuff as well. So interesting looking though. Next up, we have Color Fast, The Art of One. I know absolutely nothing about this one. Looks very campy, as does quite a few of these in here. 2001 is what the release is. I've never heard of Color Fast. I don't know what to expect at all. Next up, we have Zippy Totek. It says brutal melodic rock from Australia, pure cosmic sacrilege. The name of the album is Folklore. That's pretty interesting. I don't know how what exactly brutal rock is, but I guess I'm going to find out. Has I like the artwork and the themes going on here, so I mean this could be something interesting. Next up, we have. Wait. Okay, I've got one without a case. I'm gonna set it to the side till looks like there's different portions of that mixed in. Next up, we have a Core. I almost thought it was Gore from the way that it was printed. Core with Through Chaos and Disharmony. Don't know anything about this one. Not seeing a date or anything. Sometimes, a lot of times they'll have the dates and stuff on there on the back, but I don't. 1998. The teeth are busted on the middle of the jewel case. There's the inside, and then there's the actual disc. Don't know much about this one. So that'll be something new to listen to there. Here's the one that did not have a disc. I mean a case. This is a Rise to Addiction by Mausoleum. Yeah. Okay. There's the front cover, and then there's the disc. So don't know anything about that one. Almost has like a metalcore look from the band, but I don't want to judge just by the way they look, so I don't know. Next up, we have Serious Grind with First of All. Almost looks like some black and grind going on from the artwork there. Because I'm assuming the band photo on this is hilarious. I'm assuming a band called Serious Grind would have some grind going on. Obviously, check out that. Let me try to get that picture in the. That's hilarious to me. I don't know. That's very funny. I don't know why that's so funny to me, but that is very hilarious. Next up, we have "Sinning is Our Savior" with "Painted with Utter Desolation." Uh, don't know anything about this one. Sounds like a deathcore band, but or death metal. I guess it could go either way. Doesn't really have a deathcore-ish looking logo to me, so I don't know. No idea what I'm getting into with this one, but as I said, it's "Sinning is Our Savior" with "Painted with Utter Desolation." So next up, we have "In Torment Black," "The Fallen Shroud." This one looks very familiar to me. I'm wanting to say this is kind of Black and Doom, but I may be wrong on that. If it's what I think I remember hearing, it was a pretty good little slab of Black and Doom. So I could be wrong on that, but that's where my mind's going with this. I'm gonna set that one to the side because that's another one that I'm gonna check out here pretty soon. Still more. I told you, man, this is crazy. He sent me. We've already gone through all that, and I still have all these. And all I bought was one record. I'm really blown away by his generosity. And man, I said it already, but Marty, I appreciate this a ton. Next up, we have, let me skip that one. Next up, we have "Suicide Culture" with "Hallowed Be Thy Agony," the third copy that he gave me. You really did not want those, so you know what? I'm setting that one over there to listen to. I'm going to listen to that one first, just because you wanted to get rid of it so bad. I have to hear. I have to hear what's in store for me with that. Next up, we have a Rammer with "Suffer." Rammer strikes me as one of those bands that's been around for a while. I'm thinking this is some of their earlier stuff. This came out in 2003. It's a little 4-track EP, but this is something that is definitely sparking some memory. And I'm wanting to say it's a band that's had a pretty decent run. I think they're split up now, but um, I think it's got some thrashy death metal, if I'm remembering right. I don't know at this point. I don't know much of anything anymore. Next up, we have "Of Angels and Gravediggers," and I guess it's self-titled. I don't really. This is a new one on me. Don't know much about that one at all. No idea what to expect on this. So next up, we have "Caustic" with "The Horror Cult." This looks right up my alley. Looks like some good death metal here. Looks like something I very easily could have pulled from one of those Severed grab bags or Ungodly Ruins grab bags. It looks like something that I would definitely reach to listen to if I had not heard before. Looks like this came out in 2005. So that's going to the checkout pack. The first to checkout pack. Next up, we have Shade Empire with "Synthetic." This has a very, very, very industrial look going on. I would be super surprised if this is not industrial. Just from the looks. Of course, sometimes I see these album covers and stuff, and I expect something. If it's especially when it's something that I'm blind listening to, blind buying, that type of stuff. I see something like this, and in my head, I'm preparing myself for something like industrial. As I said, there's been several times when I do that, and I listen to something, I'm just completely taken aback because it sounds so different than what the artwork perceived it to sound like. This one brings back, man. This is I, how did you even get this, Marty? This is this is taking me back. I had a friend back in the MySpace days that had this on there. When you click their profile, you would click on it and this would play. And I have not thought about this band in forever. It's kind of garage punk type stuff. This is Tricky Woo with "Sometimes I Cry." There's a song. I think it's called "Everything's um, All Right." Just the name of it. All Right's the name of the song. Yeah, I have not thought about this in forever. Not something that I'm going to listen to a lot, but I may have to give it a spin just for nostalgia's sake. It's been out for quite a while now. Like I said, I just remembered on someone's MySpace profile, so that's I'm still I'm curious how Marty came into possession of that. So that's very weird to me. Next up, we have Anima Nera, I guess. I don't know anything about this one. But yeah, Anima Nera is the name of that one. So looks to be self-titled as well. Next up, we have some After Forever with Exordium. Pretty good gothic type stuff. This is actually the 2-disc version, I think. It's got the DVD. Yeah, I like After Forever pretty well. I have a couple of their albums. Um, there's the other disc. I have a couple of their albums in my collection. I did not own this EP, so that's pretty nice to have this one in there as well. Next up is just looking at this. It looks like it's something that I should know, but I don't. This is Divinity Destroyed with Even in Ashes. This could lean a few different ways just from the artwork. It has I mean, we just got done with After Forever. It does have a gothy look to it. Also has a very proggy look to it, especially that the band picture, the band photos kind of give me that either proggy or almost even I don't know. I'm just gonna shut up because I don't know anything about Divinity Destroyed. So, I mean, at this point, it could be Melodeath for all I know. Next up, I think this is the black metal band. I think there's a couple bands with this particular name or moniker. I'm wanting to say this is the one out of Chile, kind of that South American black metal. It has some thrashy stuff going on. This is Iconoclast with the Suffering. I'm not 100% sure that I'm correct on which band this is, but that's what's popping in my head. So there's the inside. I could be completely wrong because I thought that was a one-man project. So I may just be just spewing verbal diarrhea at this point. Got 3 left. We're 30 minutes in. I got 3 albums left, and then I'll be done. This one is entitled. The project is the Secret Handshake. This is bigger than you and I. I have no clue. Um, honestly, this looks terrible. I'm just gonna be honest. This looks like uh some emo-y stuff. I don't know. It does not look like. It doesn't. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have. Oh, nice. We've got some Doom. We got Parabellum with Stainless. Obviously, we got some Doom. This some sludgy Doom. This is New South Metal Records. Not quite sure when this one come out. I think it was late '90s, maybe early 2000s. You got a guy, Todd the Viking. If you got a guy named Todd the Viking in your band that looks like that, you got to be putting out some good stuff. So I'm wanting to say this is sludgy, almost death doom. It even feels to me like it has a Louisiana vibe going on. So I don't know. Hopefully I'm right on that. And then next up we have Hell Spirit with Demo 1 2005. So not sure what's going on with this one. It's from Finland, so that's promising, especially if it's black metal and it's very campy. It's very DIY. Sometimes that's a good thing. I guess I should have been checking some of these CDRs and stuff for disc rot, but that one looks pretty good. So we're going to give that one a spin. I'm actually going to put that one over here. Man, that was a lot. Marty, thank you. Marty, you're crazy. You should not have done this. There's quite a bit of stuff in here that I'm stoked to listen to. There's some stuff that I'm kind of scratching my head on, like that Tricky Woo. I would love to know the backstory of how you got that to begin with. That's all I've got. I'm going to link up Bindrune recordings in the description. If you're watching this video, please go buy something from Marty. I mean, please support his endeavors over there. I'm going to link up his YouTube channel if you're not a subscriber to his channel. If you're watching me, I'm sure you're already a subscriber to his channel because he has way more than I do. But just in case, I'm going to link that up in the description as well. I'll link up the Canis Dirus album in there as well, the Bandcamp for that. But I'm not. There's no way I can take the time to list all of these albums. If there's something that kind of piques your interest along the way, and you want to ask me what it is, feel free. I'll try my best to let you know if I've heard it already or if I've listened to it since you posted the comment. I'll get back and try to give you some feedback on that as well. That's all I've got for today. Stay tuned. The shirts will be up. Just keep an eye on the Big Cartel page. I will post that in the description as well. I'm still getting that set up. And I'll do a post and let you guys know when the shirts are going to go live and that type of stuff along the way as well. That's all I've got for today. Stay classy, stay metal. I will see you all soon, I promise.